Hello, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar coming to you with another book report. This one is Ferris Bueller, You're My Hero by Jason Klamm. And I pre ordered this a couple months back. This book has great value. I mean, I've been waiting my entire life for this book. I love this movie. I saw it when it came out, I want to say in May or June of 1986. And even back then, I knew I was watching something special. So, yeah, I was entranced right from the word go. There was just something about the movie that captured youthful energy and optimism. And, um, and Ferris Bueller is a total fairy tale fantasy character. Let's face it. If for those of you who don't know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off stars Matthew Broderick and Alan Ruck. Uh, Ferris Bueller is this popular but yet not clicky, not clicky kid. He gets along with every clique pretty much. He decides that he's gonna go for his 10th sick day, and he totally cons his parents and his friend who's also sick for different really he thinks he's sick for different reasons, Cameron Fry, to come on out and have a day out with him. And they end up by Ferris and Ferris's girlfriend Sloane. They go down to Chicago for pretty much a perfect day out while he nearly gets caught by pretty much everyone. He nearly shows up on television at Wrigley Field. He sings in a German on a German float in a parade in Dankeschön. It's a very, very no, it's a real feel good type of movie, but it's really about Cameron Fry. But enough said about that. If you've seen the movie, you know what it's about. But this book is basically a love letter to the whole movie, and this is no like insubstantial nostalgia puff piece. This guy went granular into his research. We're talking about the writer director John Hughes process. He wrote the script in 6 days. Talks about all the extras on the film, how John Hughes would improvise this, that, and the other thing. He was big into music, so he handpicked all the music that was used in the film. If you've seen the film, you know that music was a big deal. It was almost the score of the movie. And I was just, I don't know, I was whipping through the pages because there's lots of stuff there that I didn't know. Like, for example, the gummy bear girl at the very, very end, who gives Principal Edward Rooney these soft, gushy gummy bears that have been in her pocket for like all day. Turns out she was on the cover of the Lemonheads It's a Shame About Ray album in the 90s. It's just the lower half of her face is there, and there's a car in the background. That was her. Didn't know that. It just basically shows you all the changes and all the sculpting that went on to make the movie what it was. And John Hughes had a very, very clear vision, and it brought you into his whole creative process, which is yeah, it's it felt, being an aspiring writer myself, and I make my own Christmas cards every year, and I know that's a very, very minimal scale compared to making a movie, but that's what it feels like. You start off with this one idea, and then it gradually becomes something else because of whatever money constraints or unavailability of an actor. Or this thing doesn't quite work. It's like the whole creative process has a whole bunch of things playing into it, and Ferris Bueller was no different. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It also talks about the cultural impact of the movie, how people are still talking about it, like what, 30 plus years on. So when I saw this book, I knew I had to get it, without even considering. I just pre-ordered it and that was it. Independent bookstore for once, just to try it out, and it worked out fine. I don't even think this is officially published yet. It comes out on June 17th officially at your local bookstore. But yeah, I learned some stuff like there was actually a novelization of the movie. I didn't know that. Not going to go looking for copies on eBay or anything. Um, Fans have like cobbled together the soundtrack over the years into their playlists. Before streaming, people would like hunt down all these, like the Beatles, Twist and Shout, Dankeschön by Wayne Newton, on and on and on. And yeah, I really had a good time reading this book, and I would say it gives you. I mean, they even give you. I'll try and do this because I'm holding the tablet. I'm holding the tablet with one hand so it doesn't flip over. But I'm gonna try to show you the interior of the book. Ugh. It's the painting inside the museum when they go to that Cameron looks at. The little girl. I think the little girl is over there somewhere. That he was looking at, and yeah, I have to say I really related to Cameron in this because while Ferris seemed to know everything seemed to work for him. He could get away with anything. He could charm the pants off of anyone, get away with all this cheeky bullshit. Cameron was the one who was, difficult family situation, completely materialistic parents, had no idea what he wanted to do in the future. I remember Sloane asking him during the parade scene, it's like, well, what is it that you like to do? And what are your interests? And Cameron just shrugs and goes, nothing. And I have to say, I felt that exact way in '86 as I was about to graduate from high school at that time. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any plans at the time. So yeah, amidst all the breezy comedy and all the hijinks and everything like that, that was the real serious heart of the movie. And and of course, if you know anything about this movie, you know about that. Was it? I'm not into cars. I don't know. The Ferrari GT, I believe. They didn't. They only used an actual real one for, the actual filming, but to destroy it, to pancake it towards the end of the movie, they had they had builder kits and fake models and everything like that. So, yeah, you could say Ferris Bueller was a dramedy. I have to be honest, but I often wonder. I'm glad we never saw a sequel. But I often wonder, spoiler alert here, Cameron accidentally on purpose trashes his father's car. His father basically is huge. We never meet him, but the picture that's painted of him, he's a huge materialist. He pretty much hates his family, but he has a super expensive car that he maintains lovingly like it's his actual child. And pretty much his entire life revolved around it. Another little clue comes when Ferris is talking about Cameron in the swanky restaurant Shaki in downtown Chicago. And by the way, this whole movie is a love letter to Chicago too, because that's where John Hughes comes from. But he's in the he's in the mirror talking to Cameron. Because I used to think my family was weird. Then I saw Cameron's family functioned. Take his house for example. I mean, it's very beautiful. Everything's in it's very beautiful, very cold, and you're not allowed to touch anything. Can you imagine Cameron being a baby in that joint? And but if you've ever seen the movie, there's this it's a house. It's this glass ice cube of a house set up against a cliff, which was built by a fairly famous architect whose name I can't really remember. But rest assured, it's in this book. Even that gets a bit of a look in too. Yeah, it exists pretty much on the edge of a cliff-like hill supported by these struts, and that's where Cameron's supposed to live. And out of one of its windows is where the pavilion's windows, the garage, whatever you want to call it. That's where the Camaro, that's where the Ferrari jets out of the garage after Cameron throws his fit against his dad, basically strikes out against the car as a way of striking out against his father. I just wonder, after Cameron decides to grow up and face his dad when he comes home, I'm just wondering what happened to Cameron when his dad did come home, because he loves the car more than life itself, more than his family. So I'm thinking that Morris, his dad, probably beat the living shit out of him. And if that didn't happen, he definitely disowned his son. And Cameron probably ended up spending the summer with FERRIS until they graduated. That's just one of those things I like to think that, what happened next? Because they leave Cameron there as, basically, FERRIS and Sloane take off to, because FERRIS can't get caught. He has to get home before his parents get there. So, otherwise his whole day off will be blown. And that it's his race home is an entire, mini movie in itself. But yeah, I always wonder what happened to Cameron on that fateful on that fateful day while he waited for his dad to show up to find, oh, the Ferrari gone, a window smashed out, and hey, look down the hill. Your Ferrari that you love more than life itself has been pancaked. But yeah, because of this, I'm probably going to watch the movie later. This is the perfect time of year to see it. Just when school's about to let out, because the movie takes place in about April, couple weeks, couple months before school. All the seniors graduate. Haven't seen it in 2 years, so it'll be time. Anyway, yeah. So if you like the movie at all, if you like the craft of the art and craft of making a movie at all, how ideas come together, how you edit stuff together, from a movie maker's perspective, this is a great book to read too because it delves really deep into the creative process. Pick up Ferris Bueller, You're My Hero by Jason Klamm. It's a great read. Have a good one.